sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome to Sad Dad's Club podcast.
It is Wednesday, and I am Jim.
I'm the Foo.
And we have a special guest with us today.
I'm Mike.
Therapy Mike.
Mike.
Therapy zombie.
A therapy zombie.
Wow. I didn't even know zombies could be certified for that.
Sure.
Okay.
Are you already eating those?
Which one was that?
I took 2 jalapenos.
All right, so we...
Throughout the course of the show.
Yeah, throughout the course of the show, we got some Bean Boozled Jelly Belly Fiery 5 Challenge beans.
I guess I should have done the sriracha first.
There's
That's where I'm at.
srirachas.
I just started on sriracha.
There's jalapeno. There's cayenne. There is habanero, and there is Carolina Reapers. So we'll be eating those throughout the show.
That's awkward because it's actually sriracha.
It is.
Sriracha.
And it's warm. It's very...
Is that
hot.
the dull red one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try that.
Ooh, I don't know. That feels hotter than the jalapeno. Anyway.
Oh, that is actually... Oh, that burns in the nose a little bit.
Anyway.
That's surprisingly hot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I guess it's sort of like taking a shot of sriracha.
Why would you do that? Why are we doing this?
Why not? Why not?
It's not a good
Because
flavor.
we all... Oh, well, I
was-
live here, but you couldn't drive home drunk?
I would like to also point out that Mike's shirt and his microphone cover match,
Oh, no way.
basically.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
We, not last weekend, but the weekend before,
Yes.
sorry if I'm chewing in the mic, we did a drive, and that was fun.
Yes. We did a social distance drive just to make sure that everyone had their own vehicle.
We had 2 motorcycles and 3 cars. On
So I guess we need to set that up. So you also get therapy on the rides.
Absolutely. My motorcycle is the cheapest therapy I've ever had.
Yeah. And I think we've settled long that I get the same like peace of mind and relaxation from being in my... Oh, you okay?
Jalapeno.
Really?
You just hit the back
from
of my
mine.
throat.
So given an opportunity to just get out and take a drive, get in the car and do a thing, there's like a therapy, like get out, clear your mind kind of thing. Obviously, COVID. Take your other disaster on top of that. Dragon, obviously, with her medical.
Yeah, that was a
you know,
rough couple
everything.
weeks.
Friends are having tumors and hospitalized, and other friends are having, their own surgeries.
Yeah.
I think probably a week prior to us talking about it, we had just taken Armageddon in, and he was diagnosed. He's got like a tumor mass in his bladder and kidney disease. Overworking, stress of being employed or not. What's the economic outlook coming down the road, the kids, and.
Jesus, I'm depressed.
Man.
Right?
Listen.
So Mike goes, and this was 2 weeks out. I think you had said, we need to go for a ride. Let's all. Who wants to go and just take a drive?
Yeah, I'm an avid fan of. I have nowhere to be. I have a weekend. I have my motorcycle. I will just go get lost in the mountains.
Right.
And because of that, I have found some pretty amazing routes up here in Northern California.
So he had said, I think a week out. I said, "Oh, fine, I'll do it. I'm just going to I'll make sure that I'm not working that weekend, and I'm like penciling it out.
That should be every weekend.
God, I wish. All right?
Yeah, what are you
This
doing?
is a conversation that you and I have all the
wish.
time.
Fucking every week, Yeah.
What do you mean it's Saturday? What do you mean you're working? damn it?
Right. So I had made a point to make sure that I didn't have anything, and that was also coincided the same week that Venus and the kids went to visit her mom down at the coast.
So good timing for you.
So it worked out that I didn't have anyone here. I'll be honest, I was a little apprehensive about leaving Armageddon here, but he was not in the current state that he's in. So it was like, I'll be fine. It's in the middle of the day. It's hot. The dogs will stay inside. The neighbors probably won't have any problems because the dogs are outside. They won't be barking. I'll be fine for 5 fucking hours, kind of a thing. I was totally jacked for it. I don't know about, but I was like, the tire pressures. We had our own hangout with Argonaut was also there. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, and I've never ridden with him before. That was great.
Absolutely.
I think he had fun.
I feel guilty for not having here, but talking about it as well.
Yeah.
We'll circle back one time and make sure that Argonaut. Well, he'll something in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, Data's isn't here either.
Right. So we had you, Jim, me, Foo, Mike, and Argonaut on a drive
and
Chandler
that a route up to Quincy that you had done prior that I don't think any of us had done. So Mike had done this.
And it's a great road.
It is
a fantastic road. But we hadn't. And everyone, we met here at the house, and everyone was in their own place. Everyone brought masks. But everyone, it was just like everyone had their own space.
Yeah.
And we took off. God, it was good stuff. So we went out in
99.
99
up to 70.
Up to 70 to...
Outside of
is that a highway?
Yeah, to Orville.
Out of Orville and then up to Quincy through.
And then via 128.
There you go.
128, okay.
Which is basically 35 to 40 mile an hour sweeping perfect corners for 52 miles.
Yes. And if you're
with a lot of 25s, I mean, with signs for 25.
Me and Jason did not go below about 68 the first section. Yeah. So hashtag high Venus.
Hashtag high Venus. The roads were fantastic. If you're a driving enthusiast, even if you're not, if you want something that's scenic.
It's also pretty.
Yes, it's also very pretty. You go over Lake Oroville. Right? Yeah. It's low, but there are a number of bridges, a couple different type of like environments. Like there was that weird sagey like high desert butte,
and then there's that elevation break, boom, and you're in a pine forest.
Right. It's absolutely amazing views. Well maintained roads. This is not like fucking coming down 80 through Colfax or Applegate where you're dodging potholes.
Which is amazing because that highway is in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, it's out there and it's pretty well maintained.
Yeah. That was, I think, probably we were getting the benefit of a little bit of COVID and weekend.
Yeah.
It was low traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, once we were started, I don't think I or you didn't actually butt into anyone.
Not really, no.
No.
I think all the way to Quincy.
Yeah.
I did because I got...
Well, this shit happened.
I had 2 people get in between me and
Keep
Data.
up, son.
Yeah. So we had talked about that. So I think it was after recording. And I think this was the difference between young me as a driver and mature old me. It was when we left here, there was like an understanding. We're not out here no one wanted tickets.
Right.
No one overdrove their talent or their vehicle.
Not that someone couldn't have gotten a ticket.
Well, so the thing about speeding tickets and sports cars and motorcycles is, for the most part, you avoid them. It's a stupid ticket to get nailed doing 110 on Interstate 80 in Roseville.
Right.
That's stupid.
Right.
There's some roads that warrant the risk to push it here and there.
Yeah.
And 128's one of them.
Yeah. So, but it was, no one's going out there, no one's racing.
No.
But it was what do you need? Oh. It was, go out and have an enjoyable time, but don't put yourself at risk, and don't put anyone else that we were with at risk.
Right.
So when there was no
dick measuring?
Yeah, there was no, and I think that's different from when I was younger.
Right.
There's always a little bit of dick measuring. We were not doing that.
No, we were just having fun.
And there was no set like, when we get to here, we're doing this. It was just, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's just get your playlist and let's go. When we got past, and I've seen the between your footage and my footage a number of times, when we got past that last trailer thing.
Oh yeah.
I just went, the road is open, and I kind of just went.
Yeah.
An absolute amazing feeling of freedom. It was just like, I was within my control.
Right.
But I let it out. And you were there. And the difference between all of our skill sets, it was, I'll push until I'm at the fringe of what I think my machine is capable of or I'm capable of. And that was it. That was a space.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Everyone drove their own drive or rode their own ride. Jason, Argonaut had no concerns. When I left him, he was like, good for you.
Yes.
I don't feel remotely encouraged to attempt to run that pace.
Right.
Just like a couple times we waited for Jim, and he's like, dude, I'm just out here having a good time driving
There
around.
was no like, I mean, there was a funny haha ribbing, but there was no like, dude, looking at the watch and like, we've been sitting here, we were about to start making, Subway sandwiches and shit.
I think my first question when I pulled up on you guys the first time was like, how long you guys been waiting?
Yeah, and no one was really keeping track. And so for Jenny, if Jenny's listening, Jason was always within his own space. I think he made a joke that she saw some of his footage and his mirror got close to the line or something. I assure you that while we got hot in a couple places, for sure, no one rode beyond their capabilities or the machine or the road. Yeah. And I had not been on it. Right.
Or the vehicle the way it was prepared. No one was out there. You mentioned it. We talked about tire prep, make sure the easy stuff's done. Let's not have any preventable breakdowns.
Yeah.
Even with the VW out there.
Yeah.
Which made it.
I did all that. I went and had the tires rotated at America's and had an oil change like the weekend before.
The Cayenne is...
Yeah, it's a kicker.
That was a double whammy. Although it tastes really fake.
Yeah, that one's not as good as the other one.
I don't want any of that. Doesn't look...
But
the Cayenne is...
Where are you guys at? I haven't even had the jalapeno yet.
I think I've tried them all except the ghost pepper one.
Really?
Yeah, I've had them all.
Well, when I get
ghost pepper one's the last one to try.
When I get to jalapeno or habanero, I'll let you know. Okay. Anyway.
But we were when we first left and we were running up to the lake.
Yeah.
I had Datas behind me, and I felt like I was pushing pretty hard, and not roads I knew for sure.
Right.
So that was a little bit.
This was coming out of Oroville.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were pushing hard, but he was sticking right on me, and I kind of felt like he had the ability to go faster than me, or was way more comfortable in his car than I was. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I was like, "Man, he's just right," and I don't want to be pushed. I don't want someone. Right. I don't want to feel like I'm holding someone back.
Right.
As much as I don't want to watch my son blaze by me and like maybe fucking
get
drive
out of
his
control
car
himself.
Yeah. But hey, you got to do your thing.
Right.
So I pulled out and let him by, and he just ended up disappearing after a minute or two, and I was like, this is fine. I'm at my pace now. I don't have someone behind me where I feel like I'm holding someone back. I don't want to hold someone back. And that's when the enjoyment started kicking in because, and then there was a point where I was like, this is a lot of fucking corners. I'm ready to get to Oroville or Quincy and have some lunch because I was getting hungry. But it was one of those things where it was like I was really struggling and keeping my eye behind me when I should have been in front of me when Datas was behind me.
Oh.
And so once he went by, it's like I didn't give a shit. There was never anyone behind me at that point.
Right.
And then the only time I saw any other traffic was somehow two cars got in between Datas and I, and then they eventually turned out.
There was a weird
by.
Intersection up there.
Yeah.
That there were people waiting for that gap.
Yeah.
And it was so gorgeous.
Fun.
Yeah. Especially once we took that second break. It was like the pine forest.
Yeah.
The elevation had
the one
chilled
where
out.
I overshot the stopping point and had to loop back.
Yeah. Well, I pulled off quick, so that was probably on me a little bit. Yeah, I mean the elevation had changed the temperature, so I'm sure it was probably nice for you guys and the bikes and all.
I think I enjoyed the after Quincy section even more because it was a lot more sweeping.
Yeah.
Longer straights and stuff. I enjoyed that a little bit more than the super twisty stuff.
Yeah, and that's the first drive actually back then on the Z that me and you went on. That road out there, Monitor Pass, is a lot more geared towards your longer runs, your bigger sweepers.
Yeah.
Minus that one section where you're coming back
but
down.
that section's
But
a
the
hoot.
bulk of it, Monitor, is more long sweepings.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the valley up there, man, that's gorgeous. I didn't realize. I just, in my mind, always pictured that as all mountains with creeks and shit, but there was a good size flat valley up in the middle of the Sierras.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
That space, so is that 70 once you get off of 80 and you start making your way? So I'm talking about the
70 meets 80 where we were still on 70 when we went through the valley.
Okay.
And then we turned on to 88 or 89.
Oh, that's right. There's a couple different highways.
Yeah. So that taint space where we pulled off that last time in the dirt.
Before we got
that
the
space
truckie.
right there, it reminded me, like, I've been through there a couple times. It reminded me a lot of Wyoming. That like low plains, high grass,
and mountains jut up.
Mountains on either side. It was very reminiscent of driving through the Grand Tetons kind of thing. And I remember doing that in that drive with Venus and Donna in Ingress. We had to go up to Gray Eagle for portals and whatnot. And just being like, I could make this drive every weekend.
Yeah.
And just, I had sunburn on my left arm. I spent a number.
The trucker's elbow.
Yeah. And I had.
That's funny.
I spent a good amount of that drive, just like, especially after we had eaten.
Yeah.
Masks on, everyone social distance. It was really awesome, totally convenient.
I had the windows up and this air running the whole time.
That just playlist. And you lose
I
cell
was in
signal.
full leathers.
Yeah.
Sorry. Helmet on.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of no cell service. I was surprised.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Well, I noticed if I had a route planned, like Apple Maps would download that route up until the point where you get there, and then after that,
if
you didn't have a route planned and it didn't download,
unless
something,
you had T-Mobile,
then it would
for whatever reason. But
Yeah.
and I should have mentioned in the hangout, I have a huge section of like the greater Tahoe area
pre-downloaded,
downloaded as an offline map.
Okay.
Because I do get lost. That's
you-
how I find those roads. I'm like, oh, that road looks interesting. I'll ride for 5-6 hours one day just looking around
just
out
to
there.
go. Can you pre-download maps with
I don't know of a way.
You got to have an offline map option.
with Apple Maps?
I don't know.
There has to be.
Oops.
Not that I have seen.
Really? Well, that kind of fucks you.
That's
not good.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's Apple Maps anyway. So
I
it's
guess
not
you
gonna
could just
take
use
where you're
Google
going.
Maps if you were gonna.
I don't know. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that option. I don't know.
No.
Old school
I never really had to think
GPS.
about it.
Hello, Jim. This is Siri. Are you going up to Quincy again? Would you like to pre-download these maps?
Well, like
'Cause
I
you
said-
were lost last time.
Oh, well, I had maps up to what was the name of the lake?
Orville.
No, the next lake.
The small one that's up. The one that it's basically a pond.
Oh, Buck.
yeah.
Buck's Lake.
Which Siri, for some reason, kept thinking I was saying I want directions to Fuck's Lake.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, that's not a place, asshole. And I'm
You
like,
keep telling me you have none, Jim.
so I finally
it's in
had to.
Amsterdam. It's a place.
I finally had to tell her Bucks Lake, and then she went, "Oh, Bucks Lake," and I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, Bucks Lake." That's
You know
what I
what's
said
funny
fucking
is-
5 times.
The drive up going up 99 here and through Marysville. It had been
which I apologized for.
It wasn't bad. Terrible drive. You could apologize for the right turn, left turn.
That's what I was trying to figure out too.
And we left here, and I'm like, where are we going? Is he going to take us to like 65 or fucking what? And then
I figured
you
he
did
was
like
going
the motorcycle thing where you went way outside the right lane, and we all went turning right.
I
but
told
we went
Jim
to go left.
I literally as soon as the front of the bike was not in the shade, and I left my phone on it, and as soon as we left, it overheated and rebooted, and I was like, I don't know where I am.
You don't know Roseville enough that you couldn't have gotten out of here?
I can get to 3 places in Sacramento unassisted.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The temple on H Street, the temple on S Street, and now the visitor parking for the hospital at UC Davis.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
I don't even know.
Or home.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Really?
The amount of turns we left here, I'm like, where the fuck are we going? I thought we were going out Fittyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured he was gonna go like up Highway 65 that way, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a quicker route.
Google
or something.
started to route to 65. It said it was quicker.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the first turn I made that I was not familiar with up here, the phone was all
I'm done.
fucking hot. I'm
It's
done.
too hot, bitch. Yeah. So once we got through Marysville, I don't think, because usually the last time I went up that way, I'm making the right and I'm going into Grass Valley off of whatever that one is.
20?
20.
Mm-hmm.
So it had been a long time since I had made the gap between that 20 cutoff and Oroville. I used to make that commute all the time when I would work down in Auburn, and I was living in Chico.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And when I would have to make the cuts into Grass Valley off of like Matthews and Ramirez, that are on the right hand side. So it was so funny to be like, wow, man, it's probably been 20 something years since I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to do it. Oh God, daily.
Dear.
It was
Sorry,
really
laptop.
crazy. It was like a lot of like reminiscing going
Yeah.
on, and just like the crew's like, wow. Last time I was probably here, I was driving a fucking Fiero
Yeah.
on a donut.
That's
of a spare
the stuff
tire.
I love about, obviously, the more aggressive roads, you're pretty much zeroed out on, which is why I like motorcycles and fast cars, is you don't have time to think about anything else except right now, what's happening.
Yes.
Which is amazing. But when you're driving a car on a boring road like 99, and you get the times where your brain's just rabbit holing.
Yeah. And
And eventually you get where you're going, and you're like, Did I run any red lights to get in here? How did I get here?
How did I get
Yeah.
here?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
I've had those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that my frame of mind definitely changed once we got that last trailer thing.
Dude,
I
got
don't know.
I had the video
I think
going,
someone had asked.
You had to have gone down to second right there.
Probably
You had to have.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
But
it was like, how fast were you going? I'm like, honestly,
I don't know.
I don't know. I just was dealing off of gears
That
and
was my
RPM
biggest,
feel.
Yeah, biggest takeaway from that race school for me was
Don't look at
because
your.
they disable the speedometers
Mm-hmm.
That's
on
not
those bikes.
shocking. Yeah.
And I read my corners and entries based on my field of view and my perception of how fast I'm going. And that changed a lot of stuff because I know there was a couple #earmuffs Venus. There were a couple sweeping lefts on the way up there that I was banging the top of third, and on my bike that's 114. And I was into a left chasing you through a corner, and I'm like, that's the top of third, and I'm like, I'm close to. I mean, it was 17,000 RPMs on that bike.
Yeah.
I had to upshift to fourth, and I was like, I'm like glancing over, I'm like, okay.
And the RS is still taken away.
Yeah, the
know.
RS is fast, and motorcycles are, I think, more fun to ride, and I think they're a lot more active to ride.
Yes.
But they are absolutely not faster or better cornering than cars. They're just
different,
more fun to do it in.
Yeah,
for different reasons.
And we had talked too. I think it might have been Data's or you. It was the amount of obviously the physicality involved in the bike riding in that type of ride versus what we were doing is, there's certainly a spectrum. But when we pulled off, I mean, if you were driving like I was driving, I was, there was movement, and I certainly felt in my, ribs and hips, like
bolstering.
I had been doing I had to putting some effort into there in my core.
Your entire upper body centered at the wheel.
Yeah. It was, it wasn't, 55 and straights. There was turns, and I'm bodied into some stuff and
so many
keeping
turns.
the core.
So many turns. Holy shit.
It was a good workout.
It was
not as much as a bike.
It was a riot pace. Just to pace the RS was so much effort on that bike. All-wheel drive, the tires you had on it, the fact that you know how to drive the car. Because, we pass, like the guys are, we pass a lot of really nice cars. Like Napa, we've passed Ferraris on the straights up there. That's not because bikes are faster. It's because I'm either braver than the guy driving their Ferrari or he's just out for a drive.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you can or can't pass. You get a guy in a moderately raced out Miata, and you won't catch him on a bike on a racetrack. You just won't. But yeah, that RS, it moves.
It was good stuff.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
The combo of the power and the all-wheel drive is...
Yeah.
And that car is just set up right.
Yeah. And every time I looked at him sweeping into a corner, it's in my head, I go, I know that each one of his 4 contact patches are about the size of a dinner plate, and mine is literally the size of a credit card in the rear. You know?
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
There was a couple times I was behind Jason for a bit, and we swept through a corner, and he was leaning pretty hard, and it was a pretty rough corner.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, that is a rough corner. Yeah.
Did you see the frame flex?
No, what I was thinking was one wrong bump on that corner.
Oh, yeah.
That'll kick the tire out.
Yeah.
And you could lose that. And I thought, oh, man, be careful there.
That's
because
why
that's scary.
Suspension config is so important, especially on the super sport level bikes when you're pushing corners like that. And that's why I have Dave Moss tune my suspension on my bike, because there's too many adjustments for me. And I don't want to be in a situation like that and have the rear throw.
Yeah.
It's just because a lot of guys ride their stuff factory set up, or they turn their knobs and they think it feels better, and they just get beat up or have too much rebound in the rear, and they're getting offline. And it doesn't take much at those speeds.
Yeah. Or someone
really
that's trying to get overpace the equipment because they want to feel randy, like, my skill sets, without understanding that there's a need to compensate also for the mechanics of the bike itself. It's like,
well, I would imagine
you need to have A and B.
It would be probably down to the weight of the rider.
There's
all kinds of
so
stuff.
much adjustment on the suspension for those super sports, and like if you just wing it, you don't know
You're
if it's
be
set
in
up
a
right.
bad place.
Yeah, and you get tired quicker. It doesn't turn as well. It doesn't tip in as well. It doesn't pull back up as well in straights. It acts not unpredictably when you get interference. Like,
kind of counterintuitively.
I'm still super happy that the front grabbed again on the gravel corner.
That's scary.
But at least it predictably went into a low side. If I was going to crash there, it was going to be a low side.
Yeah.
It didn't fight me. It just lost the front in some gravel, and it got traction back.
Right.
Thanks to nothing I did. So
back up.
Yeah.
And that was it too, right? Well, I think there was a couple. The road went sideways sideways. The road was not as when we got closer to Quincy.
Yeah, it was a little gravel.
There was a little bit of gravel on the road. You had a small like a pucker moment, and I think Argonaut had mentioned he had noticed road quality moments, and he backed off too. I think that there's going back to the top when we were talking about the maturity part. It's like, if we're younger and a little bit stupid, because
we are stupid.
Because we are.
Just stupider.
The reactions and the how those situations would have been handled may have ended up different. Especially when, I saw the tail end of that happen as it skirted out, and it was like, okay, I didn't see the first part as to what caused it, but I knew right then. It's like, okay, either he was pushing too hard, or maybe I was pushing too hard, or there was something in the road. I don't know, but if that's what the road is going to be like, I need to back off. We need to just back off.
We laughed about it at lunch because you even said you noticed, I immediately dropped down my pace immediately after that.
And I'm like, okay.
To the point, I literally was had to shake it off, physically, all right, and then I picked up again.
And then I used that as time to okay, well, I haven't seen Argonaut either, so I backed off just to make sure that as far as a caravan thing, we all grouped back up again. We pulled off. He experienced the same kind of thing, and I think a different corner, but it was that's the adults in the room also being driving enthusiasts, fucking okay.
I mean, for me, it was a thing where it was I never felt like I was going to lose control. I never heard tire squeal, except maybe a couple times on the paint. But also at the same time, I was pushing my comfort level of
Habanero's hot.
yeah, it is. I was pushing my comfort level on like, this is my car,
Right.
and I don't want to put this motherfucker in the weeds.
Yeah, it's not a rental.
No. And
Hashtag Ireland.
you know, the tires are good,
Fuck
but
you,
they're
Renault.
not fucking Cup 2s. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
And this is the first rear-wheel drive car I've ever owned. So I know what a front driver is going to do.
That's funny because, I mean, all of us were pretty well below the oh shit level of full-on traction loss.
Yeah.
But that's got to be in the back of your head. That's your first rear-wheel drive car.
Yes.
You're not used to the push.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
And so part of it was learning that and kind of figuring out what the car is going to do. And I never got to the point. I had a couple of corners where it was like, oh, I'm really coming in on this one hot. Oh, shit. But the car just did it. And
Yeah.
I wasn't too worried about it. But there was a certain point where I was like, I'm doing this hard for what?
Right.
And like, I want to go hard, but I don't need to be that. I don't need to push that fucking hard to the
Right.
point where I'm like code browning every
Right.
corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
and especially on the bike, I don't ever, every one of those long chases with, especially with me, you're in the front,
Yeah.
Foo, I never was not at all worried. I don't ride at that level anymore. If I'm scared of what's happening,
I'm
I'm
making
going
mistakes.
too fast.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I was okay with backing off and being a couple minutes behind. That didn't bother me at all. I was enjoying myself.
You got to drive your sports coupe
Yeah.
through the mountains on a Saturday. I mean,
with
that's
nobody around.
Yeah, that's perfect. Who cares how fast you're going? Did you have fun? Did you push your limits? Did you learn something about your car?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And we made jokes, I think, with the ladies, like, oh, that's too fast, and I would never do that. But I'm almost encouraged, not at the same tier, but I would take Piper on that drive at like 70%.
Sure.
So that she understands, spirited, as long as you're within control of your talent, or your capabilities. Yeah. Because if you don't, if you're in a car with someone that doesn't have that, I think you need to be able to understand, like, you're stupid. Like, we're gonna get in trouble. Right. So to be able to see as a new driver the spectrum of like, this is spirited and in control.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. If you're outside of this and you're not in the driver's seat and you're witnessing something like this,
yeah,
and
the driver's working too hard,
right?
Yeah,
you need to be aware, and that's when you need to say something to the driver.
Well, remember, this takes me back to like one of the first times I ever rode with you, and we went to
Georgetown.
Yes, and I told you
this was the Subaru.
Yes.
Yeah, back when he had his WRX, and I remember telling you, you don't have to prove anything to me. I don't know if you remember that, but I told him in the car, like, hey, you don't have to prove anything to me. Like, I didn't know your skills.
I had also said, if you get scared or you feel uncomfortable, say something, and I'll back off.
Yeah, and I didn't, because I could tell.
Because he's calm.
Yeah,
and
he knew what he was doing. He knew the road. And I was like, okay. There were a couple times where I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
But, it's like, I think you're going to get that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see, obviously with cars, if you're in the car, you can see the driver easily, but you can tell a lot, motorcyclist body position, how tense upper body is, how comfortable they are with what they're doing. Yeah. That's why I don't like a ton of group rides, because a lot of times, like, I ride with a few of my friends often, but just a random group ride, I don't trust any of those guys well enough to ride next to me. I don't know them. Right. I don't know if they're 100% of their limit or 60%. But you see guys mid-corner on a fast-paced corner, and they're totally frozen, stiff on the bars. That guy is not safe at all to be anywhere near.
Yeah.
Like someone commented the last time you weren't with us, Angie and Sarah with us, the ride that me, Angie, Sarah, Jason, and Jen did, Monitor Pass.
Oh, okay.
I was on a hard left, probably 95 or so, mid corner. Got passed by a BMW touring bike coming the other way, and the guy waved, but I was mid-corner, committed to the corner. And I just left hand off the bike, clutch hand off, waved, and I'm fully pitched. I'm hard left corner.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that right, you should let go of the front bars.
Yeah.
The bike should stay where it's at. And the guy with us was like, I can't believe you let go of your bars mid-corner. And I was like, you should be able to also.
Right. If
you're doing it right.
Can't. Yeah.
Yikes.
It was and that's interesting that I think that goes to show the level of comfort and confidence in that we had with each other, having never actually done that all together before.
Yeah.
But our understanding of personalities and whatnots as far as enthusiasm for the Argonaut. I've never ridden or driven with Argonaut.
Yeah.
But I trust him, and I trusted his abilities just in conversations and talking about bikes.
Yeah.
His level of enthusiasm for riding bikes.
I was impressed with the control he exerted because that's a new that's a new R6 for him. It's a couple years old, but it's a new bike for him.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What's he had it 6-8 months or something like that?
Yeah. And, but all city commuting.
Yeah.
No. I don't ride my bike at all in the city. My bike is only a mountain twisty road toy. It sits when I don't commute on it.
Can't haul Cat 6
but,
on that bitch.
For him to not really get out
Saddlebags.
there and just push it, new sport bike, new to him, new tires. I do wish I had my summer tires on when we were out there because I feel like that could have made a difference.
Nice.
Maybe. But it hadn't really done that with Data's. Or you, for that matter.
Yeah.
Data's was super well behaved. I was honestly surprised.
Yeah.
He did really well,
Yeah.
actually. I was impressed.
Yeah, that was great.
Everyone was a mature fucking adult.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
And we all wear masks. See how easy it is?
There's even photo evidence of us at lunch ordering.
Speaking of fucking photos, man. So, here we go. You didn't have a camera. Jim didn't have a camera on your
I
car.
did not, no.
And you had yours.
I had mine
and
on
I
my
had
bike.
two. And
You put one on Data's car, too, right?
it was one of mine that I wasn't using because I had three.
And you got the footage off of his, too?
Yeah. So before we had left, I think as I was setting him up, he had asked, so what's the thing? What's the quality like? I'm like, well, it's a sport camera. It'll do its thing.
It's a knockoff GoPro.
In seeing, I don't think I could do that again after seeing your footage. Because the bottom line is, if you're going to do something like that,
It's stabilized better.
and you don't have image stabilization of some sort, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. I was disappointed and frustrated with what I knew should be
Should have been
really
good
good footage. And it's,
we'll have to do it
just,
again. Oh,
and
darn.
you pay for that, and I understood that, but I think I had hoped there would be a little bit better. So understand that when you're getting some of these sports cameras, whether it's snowboarding, wakeboarding, on a boat, what?
Do these do image stabilization?
These do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'd have had this
On a
on a mount in the thing, but it's also got, the gyro.
The
So-
gyro would be cool I want one with the gyro because the only thing I don't like about my GoPro is when I put the bike into a lean, the frame goes into a lean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
That
think
would
it'd
be
cool
interesting
to have it
see.
gyro stabilized. So just the
Yeah. So in
the
having the
skyline
mounts,
moves.
but not
Yeah.
having the stabilization, it was just kind of like,
So was it just super shaky?
it was. And Final Cut cleans it up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but not to the point to where I was happy that I had something as close as to what Mike had from an actual GoPro.
So which GoPro do you have?
I have the first Hero, the first Cube one that came out, the small Cube
Session?
one.
Session.
Session, sorry. The first Session that came out, not the Session 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I love that thing. We take it everywhere. It's waterproof out of the box. You don't have to put a case on it for
Right.
I think 10 meter.
What was your battery? You didn't have to change. What?
No.
You had the battery running the whole time?
My battery usually runs about 4.5 hours on that.
Oh, that's weird. Because
And I'm
original
and I'm
Sad
60
Dads videos, we used GoPros, and they would turn off during the show.
Yeah, I shoot 60 FPS. Oh, no, 30 FPS,
1080?
1080. It will do, I think, 60 and I think
Yeah.
120 for your slow. But for the bike, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. So if you're looking to do something like that, understand that when you buy like the knockoffs, it's better for a stationary position image thing.
A webcam.
Yeah,
Or
not
a time lapse or something.
Not mounting to a car.
Not mounting to yourself or to the car, especially if you're doing something with. I had it. It's not honestly the. What did I have that was a little bit hotter? Was
Sriracha?
No, it was
Chipotle?
I don't know. I just ate one.
Oh, the cayenne.
I
just
only
ate
The
one.
cayenne felt hotter than the habanero.
I've only had one so far. I don't really want any more of those.
Where's the cayenne?
I had a rough day. I barely did anything
I don't know. I'm
to eat.
thinking
I
about
don't
going for
need
the.
any.
I'm thinking about going for the ghost.
Are
pepper.
we doing the Reaper? Wait,
Yeah, the Reaper.
I'm out of milk product to fix it. So
I just have water.
Oh.
I just have water. I think this is one, so I'm gonna eat
is
it.
this my water?
Yeah,
Is this,
it's you.
oh, look how fancy you guys are getting.
Oh shit!
You guys already did it? Son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
I don't.
It's not doing anything yet.
No, it's not. Oh. It's slow.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah. Ooh, damn, that's like a time release shit. Wow. Although not, I feel like the habanero. the habanero. I feel like the habanero was a little bit hotter.
No way. I'm not eating the habanero one.
The habanero was really.
Oh, it's lit you up.
Oh God,
You
that's
eat another one?
terrible.
Yeah.
The fuck? Why?
I don't know. Maybe I.
Who are you showing off for?
Maybe I made a mistake. Nope, that's hot. I think I had to. Oh. I think it had to do with how I chewed it.
Why do they even make these products?
I don't know. I'd rather eat this than the fucking dog food.
What about the chocolate? Was this? No,
Oh,
the
the
chocolate
chocolate
was
was-
way hotter.
So here's a. So who? My dad.
My face is sweating now.
My dad brought down zucchini and a busted laptop that surprisingly this time wasn't because of random porn site. Hashtag love you,
hi, Dad.
Yeah, hashtag hi, Dad. When my brother drove up to pick something up, he's like, "Is it porn?" I went, "Not this time."
The first question.
Yeah, no, not this time, brother.
Anything good?
Yeah, Has it got any of that other stuff?
Is he into the weird shit?
So he, oh no, it was Venus. So he brought down plums and a zucchini, but Venus had just come from the ranch over in Citrus Heights of mother-in-law's, and she had some other, I think, nectarines, and she picked.
Who has nectarines? Like a tree?
Yeah. You like nectarines?
Oh my God, they're my favorite thing ever.
Okay.
And pluots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she picked these two peppers, which, in the conversation with my dad, talking about what they must have been, wax peppers or banana peppers. Oh,
right.
God, look at you.
Yeah,
you're a hot mess, son.
great. It's good stuff.
It was wax pepper, banana pepper, or something.
Yeah.
Yellow pepper.
Yeah.
It looked mild. They looked pale and yellow.
Okay.
So yesterday evening, they're on the table, and Venus is outside, and Piper's sitting in the kitchen, and she's looking at me, and I said, I'm making a funny ha-ha joke about it, and I said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what kind of pepper they are. I took a bite out of half this motherfucker. Mistake was made.
What was it?
It was a jalapeno, and it was an unripe one, and I went deep into this bitch and got seeds, and I went, funny joke, expecting like, haha, banana pepper, and it lit me up. It was just short of the chocolate.
Oh,
it
really?
was so effing hot. It was
Wow.
unreal.
So is it small?
It was, yeah.
So
We threw
concentrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, dog. Fuck it. And Piper was like laughing. She's like, what'd you think it was? I'm like, not that. Oh my God.
Did you have more than one? I mean, not to eat, but
No.
oh, just,
Oh yeah, there were two.
Oh, okay.
We chucked the other one because fucking hell no. And then Venus is like, "What's going on?" And I'm out there just like with the chocolate or the chocolate. My tongue's swollen up and it feels like it's sweating, like it's 120 in my mouth, and there's just, it was. Okay, the second ghost pepper one was
Yeah.
formidable.
My face is actually sweating.
Yeah. I definitely feel significantly warmer than I did before that.
Don't test me now
Yeah.
to check my temperature if I have COVID or not, because I probably would look like
you're
I
like-
have
I'm
it.
so
flops.
tired of that.
Yeah.
Every single job site we go on.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Too bad they don't check your temperature rectally.
Every office building we go into.
Hello?
I mean, at least they're doing it, though. I mean,
Drop 'em.
everywhere we go, they're
Bend
doing
over.
it.
Well, I had to go to the dentist the other day. Was it last week? I think it was last Tuesday. And temperature check, and then this is before they were going to make you. Like, right after I went, they started making everybody wait in their car.
Yeah.
So they check my temperature. I sit down. All the seats in there are socially distanced. An older lady comes in, probably 65, 70 easily. They take her temperature. They're like, "Oh, you're warm," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like looking at her like,
We all gonna get the COVID.
"Oh shit!" So they take her. So there's a big fish tank in there, and behind the fish tank they have like a conference room. Well, let's take you into the fish room. So they take her into the fish room. All right, you just chill in here.
And they put her down.
Yeah.
Take her out to the pasture, and we'll check your temperature again. They go back, check her temperature again after a few minutes. Oh, you're still warm. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, this lady's got COVID.
Yeah, she's in here touching shit.
And then finally they checked her a third time. Okay, well, your temperature's come back down. So just stay here. We'll come get you when they're ready. It was an interesting thing to go to the dentist right now, for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
They don't do any polishing, anything, no drilling, nothing that's going to, like, put stuff into the atmosphere. Just come in and clean your teeth and see ya.
Wow.
Really interesting stuff. So.
Yeah, it is weird. Like going through surgery with Angie, and then the follow up. She had to go back to the hospital for a couple days. Not being able to go into the emergency room with her, like she's having a problem from surgery. Rush her to the hospital. They're like, "Okay, bye. We'll call you when we figure it out." And I didn't see her that day for like almost 11 hours.
Wow.
Like,
Right,
Yeah,
and that's
tough.
not necessarily a significant other thing, right? That is
everyone's going. No one can go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's you're not the person, so get the fuck out.
You could only be if they had a room, if they were admitted.
Right.
They could have one visitor. And then
one visitor per day.
Yeah, and then no one else could be like down in the waiting room. You couldn't. I mean, a couple of the other wards you could like switch off between one or two people, but only one at a time. And if you weren't in their room, you could not be inside the hospital. Like people were just standing outside the hospital waiting to go visit. Someone. Maybe a new baby, maybe something fun, but probably someone who's sick,
right?
Someone who's had an accident. And you can't go be with them. I couldn't sit with her in pre-op. It was terrible.
Yeah, we had my brother-in-law had an issue that we had to go down to the hospital a couple nights in a row, and my wife made it sound like, oh, we can all go visit. And I thought, oh, that's weird because I know Angie just had the
that's
surgery.
Where all the sick people are at.
Yeah, Angie, Angie just had the surgery, and they were only allowing like one person a day. Okay, cool. I guess we'll get to visit. And my wife went in, and then we parked the car, and we go walking up, and they're like, "Who are you here to visit?" And oh, my wife came in, and I said, "Oh, your wife's here already?" I go, "Yeah." Oh, well, just one visitor, and we were like, "Mmm." Yeah, womp womp. And then we like went to Dutch Brothers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
it was weird. It was a weird experience to just like because I've had numerous surgeries, and I'm not that concerned about going under. I unfortunately have had so many that it's like, oh, it's Tuesday surgery.
Yay.
But for her, her first surgery,
# high dragon eye roll.
Yeah, they roll her away, 3 hours before surgery because I got to go do her pre-op stuff.
Right.
And like I always had people with me because there wasn't a fucking virus and the planet wasn't on fire, but I never really cared. It didn't matter to me to have someone there. Maybe when my first one was 15, maybe then. But I've had so many that I'm like, yeah, they're gonna give me a shot. I'm going to sleep. My job's easy. I just have to shut up and sleep, and then hopefully I wake up.
Yeah,
whatever.
and hopefully,
But not
you don't have-
everyone's that way.
Right. And
Right.
for her never being sick, never having a broken bone, never having any medical stuff, and she's back there going through the pre-op checklist and all this stuff. She never phoned with her. She's just by herself. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know what to do.
I
Stress
love
on
you.
her.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
You know.
to stress on her own on something
Yeah.
she has never.
And then
done.
I'm down, Venus came to hang out, and
Right.
she's like, how you doing? I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what to do because normally you're just in there,
Yeah.
getting cut up.
Having surgery is the easiest job of the day of surgery. I mean, you don't have to do nothing.
So how
Show
was
up.
the experience then? Like positive, given what happened
Yeah.
and what was needed, the execution. I'm drooling on myself.
Do I need to put a mask on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every.
Or at least a bib.
I mean, it was a best case outcome for the surgery.
Good.
Everything's fine.
Good.
The part of her brain that was having the problem, they thought would be non-functional,
Right.
which was only going to be like a hormone thing. But it turns out it somehow survived this massive tumor crushing it for like the last 6 months.
Yay.
And so she's looking at no long-term medication or treatment,
Excellent.
which is awesome. And even if it was, it would just be hormone therapy, and it's a well-understood science at this point. The important thing was her vision's already gotten better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
which
cool.
is killer.
Does she still get vertigo trying to dig a hole in the
I don't.
space?
Honestly, I wish I had the recorder hooked up last night because. Anyway, it doesn't. Animal Crossing aside, no, she's still terrible at steering people
Yeah,
on
there you
video
go.
games.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless her.
Yeah. Hashtag we
Hey,
love you.
She
We
has
love you,
fun,
but you
yeah.
can't play Animal Crossing for
No,
shit.
she can. She
Yeah.
just can't catch
Dig
things
holes.
that move fast or dig holes where she wants.
Did you see? Speaking of Animal Crossing, did you see the guy that does like a talk show podcast inside Animal Crossing in
Yeah.
a studio? Did you see that he was going to have? He really? Have you
I don't-
not seen that?
I don't know.
He does like a
It's like a voiceover to the
right.
Well, I
So-
mean, my wife has watched a lot of.
so he's
videos
set
on
up like
YouTube.
his podcast.
Dude, that
In a-
jelly bean is still hot.
Yeah, it stings on this. Inside like a studio he built in a house or something with like little light cameras, and he has like a talk show desk with a mic,
Oh.
and he has people come to his island,
And he interviews them.
and he interviews them, on mic, but it all
remote.
happens inside his island in his studio. He was going to have Brie Larson
He
on.
had T-Pain on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's
has like a
fascinating.
musical guest,
Yeah.
and he has like talk people to actually interview and whatnot. He was going to have Brie Larson on, who like
She's super into Animal Crossing, apparently.
dude,
too.
she's awesome. She's like a total nerd gamer, and like during this when she can't direct or make movies,
Yeah.
she spun up her own like content creator channel on YouTube. That's fucking amazeballs.
I've just my wife and daughter have been into it, especially my wife. Surprisingly, enough to where she's like watching all these videos of like these people that have made these insane islands, and they're completely themed everything. It's like, how do they get the fucking bells to do all that? How do they
Turnips,
earn?
bitch.
I mean, is that it?
Yeah, it has to be because
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest bang.
Because I get in there and I fucking fish for until my pockets
well,
are full 3 times, and then
so-
I'm like, I'm done.
For the first time on our game, on our console last night, Angie got to Tarantula Island,
Okay.
where she proceeded to get murdered by tarantulas until she finally gave me the controller and I caught tarantulas for her. But in her case, her inventory full of tarantulas. She dropped everything. Threw her ladder out, threw her vaulting pole out.
Oh, really?
Because those things are 8,000 bells.
Yeah.
She had 39 of them.
Oh man.
So she was like a 200 or 320,000 bell trip.
Fuck, I need to do that. I
But
mean,
you-
I've been to a couple islands, but I haven't been to Tarantula.
Yeah, it's the one. I've been there once in the daytime, which made me sad because I recognized it.
Oh, because they only come out at
night.
nighttime.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a very low percentage to land on that island. It's got like a narrow waterway around it and like an open area with a couple rocks.
Yeah.
Anyway, they just keep spawning.
Huh.
So you just run around and catch them.
We were watching last night the Netflix, The Old Guard, Charlize Theron, a couple other random B-C actors. Have you seen Hancock? The one with
yeah.
Will Smith. He's a drunk superhero. So
the best kind of superhero.
yes, the premise is close to that, which she was also in. Really good movie. We watched that. Started it a little bit late, and we were watching that. Finished it. Good movie. Both of us really enjoyed it. Piper was at a friend's house at a party. Came home. It was close to midnight. Piper was dragging herself into bed, groggy, and Venus tucks her in. And Venus comes back into the living room, and she goes, "I'm tucking Piper in." And she said, "Mommy, did you catch any of the shooting stars?" And Venus goes, "Thanks, asshole.
Now I've got to
I was watching the movie with you, and we may have missed me catching shooting stars. It's a special event.
It happens almost every week.
Yeah.
She can shut her pie hole.
And she's like, and so first she goes like, she came in the living room. She's already like, Piper's sad because we may have missed catching fucking shooting stars. And she goes, picks up the Switch, and I start putting on what's the Jordan thing. The Last Dance, which also is really good.
I want to see that.
Really good. I started that, and so she's fucking zoned out trying to see before midnight if she can still catch shooting stars. And I think it was still on. She was catching a couple, but I think I was also like getting her to look up because Last Dance was also really good, and I was distracting her from that. But it was funny to see my daughter came home from a small social thing.
Well, then you have to make sure you log in the next day and go get your stars.
And she was like, she was concerned about, did you catch shooting stars? Because I was not here with the Switch. And Venus was like, fucking, I'll get you, daughter. Don't worry. I'll get the stars.
You know what's funny is I wonder if that's when, that was recently.
It was last night.
Okay, because so Angie kept going to different islands trying to find Tarantula Island because it's just a random luck if you get there or not.
Which is 2,000, right? Every time.
She spent 34,000 miles on this yesterday. What? So
it's 2,000 miles every time you want to buy a ticket to go to another island.
Anyway, she finally found it. She got there, and I was beat. I knew I had to get up early. I'm like, I got to go to bed at like 11 o'clock, 11:15. And she finally gets there. So now I'm watching her just get murdered by tarantulas. And I'm like, you need to do, and she's like, it's typical, like,
I got it. Fuck off.
And finally she's like, well, then you do it. And I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. So at this point, because I was watching her do it and whatever, it's like 11:55 or might have been after 12. Might have been like 12:15. I see the bloop, Pepper launches Animal Crossing across my screen because we're both friends with Venus and Piper on the Switch. And I'm like, do I need to text Jason and tell him his daughter's playing Animal Crossing?
Yeah, that was Venus.
And my immediate thought was, it's probably Venus logged into her account.
It was Venus.
Oh, Venus was logged into her account.
I don't know. I don't keep that
my first thought, I'm like, I'm going to text Jason right now and tell him that his daughter has the Switch smuggled away in her room.
Yeah, okay.
Playing the shit.
So here's something funny that my wife does. So she's the owner of the island. Chandler.
Just the worst.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, she's the owner. So we have two Switches, and Melly owns the island of the Switch that I'm playing on, and Chandler and Shanna play on the other Switch, and she owns the island on that Switch. So she has people on her island that she doesn't care much for.
Oh, yeah. Boy, that's a thing,
and
too.
I
don't like that guy.
She does it all. She walks up to him and just whacks him with the thing. She messes around with him, like running all over him, like pushing him out of the way, like she's like, I want you to leave, monkey. She's like, I want you to leave. And then she just messes with him all the time, like leaves like clay out in front of his house and like just messes with the monkey. And me and my daughter are like, oh my God, you're like the Animal Crossing bully.
Wow.
You know what I mean? She'll log into Chandler's account and go mess with the monkey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the duck?
I don't think so. No.
Bill the duck. He says the creepiest stuff. I should say. I got a screenshot. He said some pretty messed up stuff about Jason's daughter.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
I'm gonna fuck that
you know
guy
about Piper?
I'm gonna get some foie gras here, bitch.
I was like, what is wrong with this dude? He says the creepiest stuff.
Well, think about it.
Can you kick somebody off your island?
If you make them mad enough, they'll ask to leave,
Yeah.
and you can say, oh, yeah, you should go.
Does the trigger to make them mad vary?
Hitting him with a net works.
Oh. Is that why you guys
You
communicate
can also
by
give
hitting
them.
each other
You
with
can give them
nets?
really crappy presents, or just ignore them. Don't
Yeah.
interact with them at all, and then they'll.
And sometimes you get people who, like some of the characters who you're friendly with, will come and be like, "I want to leave," and you're like, "No, I want you to stay."
Yeah.
Tell
But you,
them to get gone. We want new people here.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really interesting thing because it was just funny to see how my wife is. She had this one character on her island. She would dig holes all around the front of her.
So they
house.
couldn't leave?
Yeah. And then find them randomly at some weird place on the. Like, how did you even get? I dug all around. You were in your house, and I, just she does funny shit like
She's
that. I'm
the
like,
sweetest person in real life, but man, you get her behind an Animal Crossing controller.
for sure, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
It's funny.
Ruthless Shan.
Yeah. It's and she's laughing and having a good old time, and
I'm going to fuck this guy
Melody
up.
and I are like, what is wrong with you?
Maybe she just secretly
Oh,
wants to hit everybody with nets in real life, but
I'm not
doesn't have a useful
gonna-
outlet for that.
I'm not going to take her to like Sportsman's Warehouse
do
or
that.
anything.
Yeah,
There's
no.
like so many easy. I could see so many easy Halloween costumes coming out of Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Carrying around a net and just beating the shit out of someone else.
Yeah.
Everyone will know.
Yeah.
I.
Oh, Animal Crossing.
Oh.
It
I
cracks me up whenever Venus or Piper comes to our island
Yeah.
now because we've given them enough stuff and they're far enough along that they bring us stuff too.
Yeah.
Every time I see one of them, they run up and they drop a present. Here's your present.
Yeah.
And then while you're getting it, they just start beating the crap.
Yes.
The next thing is
The universal
nets.
greeting
Yeah.
is the net.
That was the
nets.
first thing Angie and I started
Yeah.
doing.
I
Was
was-
to start whacking each other, and we're laughing.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
It takes too long to type anything.
Oh,
It's just-
absolutely. Well, that was my daughter. It was like one of the first times anyone, when we first started playing, she had gone to somebody else's island, and it was like, oh, that's cool. How does that work? But the girl whose island she was visiting would just like run over somewhere, and Melanie would follow her, and then she'd like run around in circles in the spot that she wanted her to look at of whatever
Yeah.
it was, instead of like typing.
Yeah.
If you're playing on the handheld
Yeah.
part, you can type on the screen. But if
Right.
you're
Oh, that's
playing,
true. Yeah.
if you're playing on the big screen,
I
you
never
don't have
play it
that.
handheld. It permanently docks by our TV.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There is, in case you didn't know, there's a companion app from Nintendo,
yeah.
and one of the games it interacts with is
That.
Animal Crossing, and it's a voice chat.
Oh.
So you can grab your phone, and when you're visiting, you can just yell at each
okay.
other over
Yeah,
the phone.
we did that. I think we did that one for Xander because he came in. He was trying to make. He wanted to design a dragon on a shirt or a piece of garment using like the voxel pixel designer. But you can scan a QR code if you have that app and import it into your space. But you need to register the app to your Nintendo.
to your account or whatever.
And that sent us on the. That's how I think Piper and Venus had like the baby Yoda flag.
yeah.
It's an image.
They imported it.
Yeah, you can import with a QWERTY.
I love the flag on our
a
island.
QR code.
I just love it. It was Angie trying to freehand draw a smiley face. We
yeah.
kept it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's tragic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a whole like other people that have designed clothes, or wardrobe stuff. It's a little bit. I'm still on the outside. But when Xander was like, I don't understand. I need an image of a dragon. I'm like, well, can you scan? You came to the right resource, son. I'll help you.
It's an 8-bit.
Yeah.
I think it's 16 by 16. What does it look
You're
like?
basically
Yeah.
designing like an icon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's a whole repository of here's my like a freeware or not freeware, like a free to download
Yeah.
license kind of thing. Just Google it, Animal Crossing QR code,
Yeah.
and you're gonna find tons of stuff. And in our case, it was Dragon Animal Crossing QR code, and it was tons of stuff. And so he had a bunch of stuff. He couldn't make the exact one work that he wanted, so he ended up like just kind of transcribing part of one and then finishing it himself.
Editing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's
but
his.
there's
his
tons
now. You
the,
know.
yeah, the app itself affords an opportunity to have like a voice chat. I mean, but you could do Discord.
Ours is literally just Angie trying to draw a smile on my face with the Joy-Con, with the joystick.
Yeah.
Freehand on like Microsoft Paint, but with a controller.
No thanks.
Right.
Oh, it's.
I mean, try and do that with
cute.
a mouse, let alone with a Nintendo controller, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been playing that much. I've been playing more Zelda. I'm trying to finish Zelda.
Oh, we sent you some presents.
Oh, you did?
Oh, you got
it.
it.
I'll have to log in.
Do they expire in your mailbox? Or
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We're at time.
Already?
Yeah.
Feels like Mike just got here.
Well, his
Sorry,
coffee's
Mike.
gone.
Well,
It was mostly gone when I got here.
well, he had to down. Oh, he did quite a bit of that water actually for those
Dude, that
hot beans. There's a lot of beans left, Mike. I'm a little disappointed.
I don't want any of them.
Well, we'll make baked beans out of them, and then you can have them for dinner.
Yeah.
Because you're not wasting
I'm
them,
gonna
mister.
give some to Jax. See how funny it is then, Jason.
Oh,
I have enough medical problems with my fucking dogs. I do not need you giving. And no. Hell no.
Yeah, sorry. That's a bummer.
Oh, I didn't want to. I was making.
Let's
a joke.
end this on a sad one, shall we? God damn it.
Hey, he's back.
Damn it.
It's good.
Well, I think the takeaway for the trip, the whole
Yes.
touring trip we took on, is that we just need to do it again.
Right. Right. And God, the sad dad part is that
Schedule.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's what she said.
And I think that's there's like, I think talking about it, right, it affords like, I might not be able to get out again at the pace in which I would want, but to be able to shoot the shit about it,
it was great.
It's still, God, it was an amazing drive. I thank everyone for going. I mean, it was, God.
I mean,
I
will
had
say,
a great time.
For me personally, it was a nice break from the work from home and all the damn projects we've been doing. So,
and we were all, and you can do these things smartly, and no one, we weren't in each other's grill. We didn't go to a place. We weren't carpooling with people we didn't know. We all know what each other is doing as far as making sure we're safe and who we're keeping in contact with. I would not put any of your healths at risk. You wouldn't do it to me. So I think there are these small gaps that, it's okay to follow the rules, and there are options for you.
Yeah. I prefer to ride with other people or in that situation because I do ride up there alone a lot when I'm out looking for roads, and that's why I'm so adamant about full leather.
Yeah,
because I do not want to be in a situation. I mean, you guys saw up there. If you go down on that road just right and you're off the road, no one's
going to
there.
find you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what part of the road you're on.
Yeah,
it
so you
might
definitely
be a drop.
Yeah,
yeah. So
and as fun as it is to just get out and
Yeah.
go, for me, I think it was a better experience in having friends, like
for
having
sure.
partners on the way.
Partners in crime.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, technically, that's accurate.
Yeah. Some laws may have been broke, but I don't know what they were.
There may have been some felony speeding.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think in Trump's America that's actually true.
Right. I
Are
didn't
there
data
laws?
log anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
We can finish on that now.
Yeah, we'll finish there. Thanks for joining. We'll catch you next week. Wash your hands.
Wash your butt or ass.
Wear your mask.
Return the cart. And we'll catch you next week.
Do the kindness.